Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'll be doing a golden blonde with a smudge root. So my client's hair right now is really platinum and she doesn't like that. She wants it a little bit more golden with a little bit more depth and dimension to it. So I'm going to show you guys how I'm going to be doing that. So my client was previously platinum blonde all over. And that's pretty high maintenance. Anybody out there that is platinum blonde, you know how much work that is. So she wants to go back to something that's more natural looking, more lived in. So to start that transformation, what I'm doing is highlight, lowlight all over her head. And what that's going to do is allow me to touch up her color while keeping some depth and dimension, because we don't want that solid blonde anymore. I'm using L'Oreal Platinium Clay Lightener with 25 volume, and for her lowlight I'm using Diarichesse half 7N, half 8GB with 9 volume. So the foiling technique I'm doing is called slicing. I'm just taking paper thin sections, putting them in the foil, and then I'm putting lightener on only her outgrowth section and kind of feathering it down. I'm not highlighting the entire section, and that's only because the ends of her hair are blonde enough. We're coming from platinum, so it doesn't need anything else. One thing I forgot to add too is I am kind of dragging the lightener slightly past her root outgrowth, and that's because she was going to a previous stylist that had under-processed some sections of her hair, so now she has something called banding, and that means that she has like different sections of blonde throughout her hair. So that's why I'm overlapping a little bit. We're trying to get rid of that. So I'm just doing that technique on her entire head, and then once I get to those front sections, I'm going to increase the lightener strength to 35 volume. And what that's going to do is make sure that everything processes evenly and at the same time. By the way, the parts that you see me drag all the way through, those are the lowlights. So now that all the foils are in, I'm going to let that sit for about 10 to 15 minutes. So after about 10 minutes, I checked her foils, and it looks like they lifted perfectly. They matched the ends very nicely. So now I'm just going to rinse this out and start toning. So the first part of the toning process in this case is going to be a smudge root. I'm doing this to allow for easier outgrowth and lower maintenance with her color. The formula that I chose is going to be slightly in between her natural color and the highlighted color. That way it's like nice and seamless. So her smudge root formula is actually going to be the same as her lowlight formula, except I'm using 6 volume to buy myself more time, because now that her cuticle is open, it's going to process very quickly, probably 10 minutes or less. So that formula is Diarichesse half 7N, half 8GB with 6 volume. also, every piece that I apply, I go back in with the Olivia Garden eye blend brush just to kind of drag that formula through and blend it. You just don't want any solid lines in a situation like this. You'll probably notice that I started in the back and I'm working my way towards the front. This is because the hairline is the most fragile and it processes the quickest, so I would hate to put the color on in the front first and then it's super dark by the time I'm done. So as you guys can see, that Smudge Root has already started processing, which is great. So I'm just going to move forward and do her toning of the ends of her hair. So I'm using Dialight, half 9NG, and half 9GB with 9 volume. This is going to be like a nice, pretty butterscotch blonde. So I'm just going through and making sure that's applied nice and evenly, and then I'm kind of blending it with the Smudge Root a little bit, just to make sure that the colors flow together nicely. Once that's completely on, it's going to process for another 4 minutes and then I'll shampoo it. So I'm just being thorough, trying to make sure everything is brushed in, but you can see that the color is already starting to look really pretty. So my client loves the textured lob haircut, so I'm just going to go through and clean up her shape and add in some layers. As you can see, her ends really aren't damaged at all. This is just more for an aesthetic purpose. Now it's time to try and style her hair and see what we're working with. At this point, my client is loving her hair. It looks shiny and healthy and bouncy, and it has lots of dimension. Now all that's left to do is make sure her haircut is nice and even and blend out her layers. And of course, we're finishing off the style with some beach waves. And here's the finished look. Her color has much more dimension than before. She's got a nice subtle smudge root for a good grow out. You can see the low lights poking through. It's just beautiful. Alright, and that completes the video. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share this video, and thanks for watching.